So getting to this stage involved basically taking this panel off. This is the inside panel of the back of the Zoe. You see those two holes there? That's where there were two screws holding it in place. Just undo those, and then basically what I did was wrench it off, which worked out, except it stripped, it broke this part here. So I've got another piece. That's what was there before, but I broke that in the process of taking it off, so I'm not sure if you do it more gently you might not break it. But apart from that, it really was just pulling it, and we'll see how it goes back on again after I get to that bit. So this is a rear windscreen wiper motor, and I'm going to try and drill out these rivets here with the 3 kind of slots in them. They don't unscrew, and there's no video online of anyone undrilling them, and so I thought I'd give it a go. There are 3 of them here. I've got my hand drill, and so I'll take you through what this is like. The model here is actually a Zoe, Renault Zoe electric car. But I believe, well, this piece is from a Clio, and I think even a Megane has the same thing as well. So there may be rivets on those as well, so it might serve for all those different models. I've already taken out this piece here, which is the power supply for the motor. So now it's just a question of drilling out these rivets and getting the piece out, and then hoping I can screw it all back together after. So I followed other videos on how to do this. I put down a little bit of tape so I know where to put the thing back, although my car's so dirty I didn't need the tape. Getting this off involved using one of these things, which was really badly designed, to be honest. I had to use this and then a pair of pliers and make it happen. It wasn't easy at all, and without this it would have been impossible. No way of doing it without breaking the glass. So maybe this isn't the best of the options out there, but the others weren't giving rave reviews, so this is what I went with, and I ended up getting it off, but not easy. So this is a 6mm. So this, on closer inspection, this is a two-piece thingamy, this rivet. And this one sits on top like that, sits there like that. I won't do it because I want to push this thing in. And then the other bit, which is, imagine this and this joined together, goes through it and then out into the black bit, the back of the car, and opens up. So by taking this off, this bit just drops off, and then this bit is now loose. You've got 2 choices. You can either just leave that rattling around the back of your car because it's inside this panel at the back, or you can try and go in through this hole here. There's 2 holes actually between the back of the car and this kind of panel, and grab it and take it out so you actually remove it and it doesn't rattle around the back of your car. So I'm going to try and do that. So I got it out. Basically I just brought the whole lid of the boot, the whole boot back down so that it was horizontal, so it doesn't drop past my fingers. And then I just felt around for it and pulled it out, and here it is. So some machine in the Renault factory punches this through and it expands around 3 different points, and so that's in the back of, that goes into the back of the car, and you can't see it unless you pull it out the way I just did it. So that should be enough just to allow a screwdriver to take that rim off, and then the rubber, and then take the piece out the back like before. Let's see. Okay, just by grabbing it with this and then wobbling. Just grabbed it with the pliers and just wiggled it until it got looser and looser. It's very soft aluminium, and then it just sheared off. So it just looks like that once it's sheared off. Okay, so I've wobbled it and it's now sheared off here as well, and the whole piece is ready to come off. So this bit's come off, and now the whole piece is ready to just drop off. Okay, and that's the spike where the arm fits on. That's the whole old piece taken off, thank goodness. So there's the old motor. These are still here. I might take those off and make use of those for the next piece. This bit I'll put back together with its counterpart, which must be still in the... where is it? I'll find that. So now I'm just going to take out these two remaining pieces of rivet here. I don't want them rattling around the back of the car inside somewhere I can't reach. So I'll just do that like I said I did. These are a bit jammed in actually, so what I did was I just got this bit of wood and hammered it with a... Actually, I didn't use a hammer, just used a screwdriver. Hammered it like that, and it eventually pops out one by one. Do it one by one so you don't have two things to catch at one time. Let's have a look. So we're picking up a couple of weeks later, different location. We're in the middle of the lockdown, so I've got a little bit more time. I'm finishing off this job of fitting the replacement rear wiper motor on my Renault Zoe. I took it apart and I realized that I needed to find a way to put the rivets back in. Those things that I took out were triform or trifoil rivets, very, very wide. You can't do it with a hand riveter. So I tried the hand riveter, couldn't fit a rivet so big into the riveter, so I found this instead. I'll put the link in the description. It's a blind bolt. The idea is you can fit it with no access. Let's get some focus on it. From the far side, you don't need any access from the far side, just the weight of the thing opens up that little arm, and so that arm then pulls tight inside the hole and you just tighten it from there. And the bolts that come with it are these. Now a caveat to this, first of all, I haven't done it yet, so I don't know if it's going to work. Secondly, they are wider than the little metal inside sleeve. So this piece fits inside here on your motor, and it's for riveting. This hard metal piece, this hard metal circle here is for the rivet gun not to squash the rubber and then the riveter won't work properly. So the metal is to put up enough resistance so the rivet properly opens up. I'm not using a riveter anyway, so I'm hoping that I don't need that metal thing. If I do, I will have to buy a drill bit and drill it a fraction, half mil wider inside so that I can fit my bolt through, because the bolt goes in one side but not the other. So that's the problem there. Otherwise I would have just used this thing. I'm hoping it won't be necessary, but you can see it goes through this side and then it gets stuck. It's stuck halfway. It won't go over this end. So I'm going to try without it, and I'll let you know if anything goes wrong. First of all, let's install everything. So I stuck the bolts in, and the little arm fell down, and so now I can pull on it and it'll not come out again. And I've just finger tightened these nuts on. I put a blob of glue on so that they hopefully won't kind of come undone as this thing works and wiggles. I don't want them to come undone, so I put a bit of glue on like they say in the videos to try and make it kind of a nylock solution, but homemade. We'll see how that goes, I'll tell you as well. Now I'm just fitting this last one finger tight, and then I'm going to screw it on. Now these are undoable, these blind bolts, right? So you can tighten it just by holding a screwdriver there and then tightening with the bolts. So I've got to put the camera down for that. But you can actually take them out again after you've installed them. That's the beauty of these. So if I want to rethink it, I can just take it out and start again. Okay. So that's it. I've tightened these 3 blind bolts. 1 and 2 were easy. This one was a bit difficult because you're hampered by all this stuff here. So I couldn't use my you got to stick a screwdriver in there as well, so I couldn't use my ratchet set. So I ended up using these sharp nose pliers just to tighten it, which is why it's a bit more scratched up. But it seems to be tight. It seems to be fine. It doesn't wiggle. It doesn't wiggle too much. So I think it's good to go. So the tape I put on all those weeks ago is still here. I'm just going to put this windscreen wiper back on the place. That's meant to be like that. I assume it's there. Let's test it in a minute. So I'm happy with the start and finishing position of the wiper. Taking my tape off, fitting this little cover back on. So I think just clips on like that. I'm going to get some white spirit clean up around there, and then this is done. I'll let you know if it wobbles too much, but it looks done to me. Yay! That was instead of €300. This has been the cost of the replacement motor, which was what? I think it was about 70. I'll make sure and put it in the description. And then the blind bolts are £5 each. There's a UK company, so I paid in pounds. So instead of 300, it was about 100, basically. That's it. So I just squeezed these all back into place. You're going to find there's 3 points where it clips in around here on both sides. So you push those in, it clicks in, and then you've got to get the 2 screws which you took out at the beginning and put these back inside. They go in there and on that side as well. Just put these 2 screws in. These are a bit tricky. You need a hexagonal head on your screwdriver. You have to get the right gear for it. I got mine from a Black & Decker drill set that I've got. That's the one I use.